next question. Is there a right way to grieve? So grief is very much a personal journey. There's no real should or shouldn'ts when it comes to grieving, other than staying away from anything that is harmful to your well-being. Um, I suppose the most important thing is to be compassionate to yourself, and kindness to others is paramount. We often, uh, notice that in times of difficulty, in times of challenge, that we may notice that, that the self-deprecating comes in, the self-deprecating beliefs, the critical self, the judgments that we make in ourselves can be often be very hurtful. By attacking ourselves, really, what we're doing is causing ourselves further injury. So it's important to stay away from any kind of harm that we can put ourselves in, and stay away from perhaps harmful company as well. Sometimes the people that we surround ourselves really causes a great deal of pain and injury through the things they say, and the way that they behave. And it might be things like, it's time that you moved on with this now. You've taken long enough to come to terms with this. It's, you know, um, stop being pathetic, and, be brave. You need to push through it, and um, just move on. And, just unhelpful things like that don't help a person to process their grief, because what we're not seeing is, again, it's that tip of the iceberg. We don't see what's beneath the surface. We don't understand the nature of their grief. We don't understand the relationship of between themselves and who they've lost, and we don't understand what their particular, if they are experiencing some degree of, blockage, then, what's causing that blockage. So we really have to be mindful of the things we say, and who we say them to, and most of all, treat ourselves with kindness. And often, you know, grievers feel guilt. Guilt is a very common feature of loss and bereavement. It's perhaps one of the most painful components. So it's very common to feel grief, especially in situations like anticipatory grief. Guilt tends to be a noticeable feature when it comes to anticipatory loss. And also letting yourself feel what you feel. I can't sort of reiterate the importance of being kind to ourselves, and the importance of not attacking ourselves. So you really, be the friend that you would like to be to somebody else when they are going through hardship. Be that friend to yourself. And I guess other things like, just allowing yourself to be. You may cry, you may become angry, withdrawn, um, feel empty, and feel extremely low and depressed. And although these are very uncomfortable emotions to sit with, these are very difficult places to find yourself. But in that is um, actually quite a cathartic process taking place in the background, to be able to negotiate and process and accept your reality. There has to be some degree of allowing yourself to um, feel those challenging emotions. And grievers, everyone grieves differently, but there are, again, some commonalities in the stages and the orders of feelings that we experience during that grief. And not everybody will experience those stages, and you may not go through them in any particular order. Yeah, so just to really reiterate that, grief is not linear. It's not something that you can package away quite nicely. It's not something that you can kind of do a tick box exercise with. It's, raw. It's doesn't have any set boundaries. So, it will manifest itself in whatever way it manifests itself. And we have to do the best that we can to look after ourselves and look after the other people, around us that also um, need support and need us to help as well.